Join us on www.channelafrica.co.za.
It is in actual fact, 3 minutes after 10 p.m. Central African time. I am sick for 2 days and Channel Africa is transformed. Welcome to it if you've just joined us. This is African Diaries. Shayla and Dikumana keeping you company, and I've got you for the next 2 hours. Nhlanhla Mahlangu, the host of Africa World Hour, standing in for Tshepiso Makwetla. What a stellar job. We'll catch the team tomorrow. That is between 9 and 10 p.m. Central African time. What a time to be alive. It is Wednesday, a beautiful Wednesday, the 5th of November 2025. For some, the 5th is not really a nice day because those debit orders are debiting. But that's not what we're going to focus on. We're going to focus on love and relationships. Okay, let's get into the sphere of loving and being loved and how it's becoming very interesting as of late. And so in the very first hour, we look at the reality of influencers or content creators that have taken their love story to the social media streets. Now you have trailed their story, you know them by name, you know their favorite foods, you know how they get ready, they have their get ready with us routine, they have their night routine, their morning routine, and then they break up. Okay? The love story has come to an end. What is your take on how they should be addressing the public? So said person X and said person Y decide that they're going to part their own ways. They no longer want to do content together. And they even start off by creating their own forms of content. Are we expecting an apology? Do we want to know why they broke up? Are we saying, listen, it's their business and we honestly, we aren't that invested in that storyline? Is that you? I want to hear from you this evening. What's your take on couple stories being publicized, and then after the breakup, no address is being heard? Perhaps that is your thought, your opinion, your view, something that has been bothering you as of late. There's a couple that you are following. You're saying, Shayla, listen, these people gave me hope. But at this stage, I no longer have hope in love because they broke up. These two who inspired me, who made me think that it is possible to love in this very interesting world that we find ourselves in, are now gone and they are no longer together. I want to hear your story. I want you to share your thoughts and views with me because maybe, just maybe, we could reach out to them and tell them, hey, listen, the public wants to hear your opinion. They want to hear your apology, or they want to hear your reason for breaking up. Find us on +2 76340692126. And then in the second hour of the show, we have an opportunity to look at blood group compatibility. I was today years old. I was today years old when I learned that there is an importance behind blood group compatibility. All I know is that type O is the most favored kind. Apparently mosquitoes like people with blood type O. That's all I have for you. That's it. I never thought, not once in my life, that I'd need to think and sit down with my partner and ask them, what blood group are you? I never thought that was a reality. And so if you know a thing or two, you're saying, Shayla, listen, it's actually the reason why I'm married to said person X, because I understand that we can better procreate, or our chances of procreating a healthy, happy baby are far higher than blood type 1, 2, and 3. Do let me know. Find us on YouTube. We're currently streaming live. There is a comment section to live, and so you can comment there. Looking out for Channel Africa. And then I want to drag my producer in this conversation because she was very passionate about the first, being couples who are publicly displaying their love, now breaking up, and there's a level of attachment that one has. I want to bring her into the context that we saw in an article that was released 8 days ago by Vogue that said that having a partner, it's not something you publicize, okay? You're not trying to tell people. As a girly, as a lady, as a strong woman, you're not trying to tell people that you have a partner. You're not trying to tell them that you have a boyfriend. And this is based off research of podcasts that have conducted surveys among married women, among single women, among dating women. And I just want to get her thoughts, her views, as well as yours. I'm going to give you those platforms again. Find us on WhatsApp, +27 6340 9126. On X, it is at Channel Africa 1. Use the very same handle on Instagram, on TikTok, and any other social media platform. It is 7 minutes after 10 p.m. Central African time. We're about to break away into some news, giving you room to think. When we come back, we'll delve and we'll dwell on our very first conversation.
The Midnight Snack, 12 to 3 a.m.
Muranziwa means my love in Xitsonga. So if you're listening to this, just know that you are my love. Yes. You and I are in item. We're dating. We are together. So I love you, baby. Why are you blushing? Why are you blushing? Like, haven't you heard somebody confessing their love to you? I mean, you gotta get used to it now, because I'm gonna tell you this every day, that I love you. I can tell you, there are so many people who are never told they are loved. I come to the studio every Monday, 12 to 3, because I've got an appointment with you. I take you serious. Forget about the other person, right? Moranziwa.
The Midnight Snack, every Monday, 12 to 3 a.m. with Chanduko Ligege.
Ready to connect, innovate, and be inspired? It's all happening at Africa's Tech Festival, where Africa's technology meets the world. From the 10th to the 13th of November in Cape Town, join global leaders, investors, and innovators driving the future of Africa's digital economy. Don't miss the continent's biggest week in tech. Get your pass now at africatechfestival.com.
Africa Speaks on African Diaries with Shayla Ndikumana.
Keep on the ball.
Yes, it is.
It's the kids, baby.
Napenda kuhesabu namba 1, 2, 3. Napenda kuhesabu namba 1, 2, 3.
Kinamba namba. 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 Namba 1, namba 2, namba 3, namba 4, namba 5, namba 6, namba 7, namba 8, namba 1, namba 2, namba 3, namba 4, namba 5, namba 6, namba 7, namba 8. Keep on the ball. Kama utani mtoto kanambia mambo, kanambia mambo. Kama utani mtoto kasogea kando, kasogea kando. Kama utani mtoto katoa na password, katoa na password. Kama utani mtoto kanipea namba, kanipea namba. Kinamba namba, 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 kinamba namba. Kinamba namba, kinamba namba, kinamba namba, kinamba namba. Namba 1, namba 2, namba 3, namba 4, namba 5, namba 6, namba 7, namba 8, namba 1, namba 2, Namba moja, namba mbili, namba tatu, namba nne, namba tano, namba sita, namba saba, namba nane. Namba moja, namba mbili, namba tatu, namba nne, namba tano, namba sita, namba saba, namba nane.
The mix.
Africa's voices, Africa's journeys. They're all on African Diaries. Channel Africa is evolving, and so are you. Stay connected wherever you are with our brand new website and mobile app. Stream your favorite shows, catch up on African news, culture, and conversations, all at your fingertips.
Africa is just a tap away.
Your world, your stories, now on the go.
Stay connected wherever you are.
Visit channelafrica.co.za or download the Channel Africa app today. Channel Africa, the African perspective. Gratitude begins with a story. Find yours on Channel Africa, now streaming on our new website and mobile app.
You give me life, it is solar. Can't feel your love taking over. On a good day, I be loner. See what you make me discover. Kelly don't change my persona. The revelation is in order. All the pressure I've been under. Why I call you Ngozi? God don't bless me Ngozi. No deserve is kind loving. The loving way you show me. Private lounging on Paris. With expensive room service. No one make me do like this. Girl, I got you, no worries, no worries. He did do me wow, wow. Scatter my intana. Craving on sala. No killing me kitana. Check all of his wow. A protection in the lala. Every no disala. No killing me kitana. He did do me wow, wow, wow. Scatter my intana. Craving on sala. No killing me kitana. Check all of his wow. A protection in the lala. Every no disala. No killing me kitana.
I know you're waiting around hastily to you. In my Panamera, hola, hola, oh. I'm levitating, I feel like to see when you whisper na kupenda. The thing you put for this, your love. Got my heart and my soul on love. And I wanna go crazy with you. Through the night till the sun come on. Let's do it all for love. There's nothing for any quarrel. I never wanna lose this. To you I belong. This must be love.
He did do me wow. Scatter my intana. Craving on sala. No killing me kitana. Check all of his wow. A protection in the lala. Every no disala. No killing me kitana. He did do me wow, wow, wow. Scatter my intana. Craving on sala. No killing me kitana. Check all of his wow. A protection in the lala. Every no disala. No killing me kitana. Everything you do me, I like. My best friend, the love of my life. I know if it without. I be you won't make it bad. Belly on my hold on to. Girl, you know fear I did for you. I go round the matter for me and you. Make I be the reason you believe in true love. Why I call you Ngozi? God don't bless me Ngozi. No deserve is kind loving. The loving way you show me. Private lounging on Paris. With expensive room service. No one make me do like this. Girl, I got you, no worries, no worries. He did do me wow, wow. Scatter my intana. Craving on sala. No killing me kitana. Check all of his wow. A protection in the lala. Every no disala. No killing me kitana.
17 minutes after 10 p.m. Central African Time. Crayon alongside Arius Star, and this one titled Ngozi. Before that, Kinamba Namba. I don't know if I'm saying it correctly because that song particularly takes us to East Africa with Bill Nass alongside Wuzu G Nako Apuki and DJ Juicy. If you're joining us for the very first time, a blessed and beautiful evening to you and yours. This is African Diaries. Shayla Ndikumana keeping you company, and I've got you for an hour, 43 minutes if we want to be precise. It's time for us to tune into our scribing of the diary this evening, an opportunity to get our headspace and our focal view for the show lined up. Let's take a listen.
A new study that claims that happy couples are less likely to post their partner on social media. The results found that those who share 3 or more couple selfies per week are allegedly 128% unhappier. The study suggests that, quote, trust issues could be causing these unhappy couples to post more often on social media. They're posting.
That audio courtesy of the I Have Had It podcast that suggests that people who post 3 or more pictures are 128% unhappier than people who don't post. I am trying to gauge and understand why that is the case. Perhaps you are that couple. You have taken to social media streets to announce your love, to declare your love for one another. Share your thoughts and views. You are allowed to remain anonymous if you're saying, Shayla, listen, I'm not trying to get my dirty laundry out there. I'm not trying to out my partner. There are just a few things that I do feel that aren't necessarily the most true in front of folk, but also there's this push and tug to show up for people that don't know me and I don't know them, but I promised them that I would show up with my partner. And so we're doing that. We're showing face. Maybe that's your story, or perhaps you're thinking, no, we are very happy together and are loud and proud about it. Find us on WhatsApp. Tell us what your thoughts and views are on this very first scribing of the day, which allows us to forecast into the conversation that comes your way in a short bit. Do find us on WhatsApp, +27 63406 9126. It's time for us to pay some bills.
When the sun goes down, we don't stop the talk. Channel Africa, the best nighttime radio. Ahoy, matey!
Captain here to help, right, boys?
Set sail with us on a digital voyage like no other. Channel Africa has a treasure trove of awesomeness. That is our website and social media pages.
Tell me, why are you here?
We want you to be part of our adventure.
The winds are changing, Captain. And this time...
Imagine a world where curiosity knows no bounds, where entertainment meets enlightenment, and where every click leads to the African perspective. Visit us on our website, www.channelafrica.co.za, or follow us on Instagram or on X at Channel Africa 1. Go on, like us on Facebook at Channel Africa 1. So, spread the word. Tell a friend that Channel Africa's online variety is what they need on the web. Channel Africa, the African perspective. The voice of the continent, now online, with all your sports fixtures, lifestyle, and more.
Sorry, no, sorry. I like a rainy boy, you said. Should I try
One day, I don't dare wait, don't stay too far away. Somebody's gonna go love me one day. One day, I don't dare wait, don't stay too far away. One day, somebody's gonna go love me one day. One day, somebody's gonna go love me one day. Worried, I'm not worried. No, I know the progress. Who wants to talk about whatever and live your life forever? This place, heart has been through much. Oh, come me late, ole coco. Shabby, shoni, meroni, Ronnie. Tired of getting it wrong, and this won't be another heartbreak song. Somebody's gonna go find me one day. One day, I don't dare wait, don't stay too far away. One day, somebody's gonna go love me one day. One day, I don't dare wait, don't stay too far away. One day, somebody's gonna go love me one day. One day, somebody's gonna go love me one day. Weight of the world if it's for me to carry. Shabby, shoni, meroni, Ronnie. Tired of getting it wrong. This won't be another heartbreak song. Somebody's gonna go find me one day. One day, I don't dare wait, don't stay too far away. Somebody's gonna go love me one day. One day, I don't dare wait, don't stay too far away. One day, somebody's gonna go love me one day. Somebody's gonna go love me one day.
Tiwa Savage and Brandy from the US of A are claiming that somebody's son is going to love them one day. Is that true? Is that false? We don't know. Welcome to it. If you have just joined us, this is African Diaries. Shayla Ndikumana keeping you company. And it is time for us to get into the recap, an opportunity to screen through some of the conversations hosted on this very platform that affords you that African perspective. We kickstart off with the Rise and Shine team. This is our morning team from 6 to 9 a.m. Central African time, where Asanda Beta had an opportunity to speak to Dr. Frank Lekaba from Wits University on South Africa stepping into interim leadership of SADC and what this means for the region's future.
Well, Madagascar decides to relinquish its position at SADC. What do you make of this decision?
I think it's a good decision. Look, Madagascar is a challenge of a coup, as it is, Asanda. And a coup is against the protocols and principles governing the transitions under the AU and SADC. We know we have got the Lome Declaration specific on prohibition of unconstitutional changes of governments. So Madagascar, as it is now, is an illegitimate authority. Is an illegitimate government. It did not come into power through legitimate means. And as a result, I think Randrianirina is helping SADC to step aside and focus on what he needs to do and allow SADC to also observe the process. I mean, it will.
And then keeping things on the move, Benjamin Mshatama and Palisa Tawe explore female sexual dysfunction with Dr. Emmanuel Ati, uncovering causes, myths, and paths to healing.
Conversations about women's sexuality have been stigmatized quite a lot, as you heard me say a little bit earlier on. But and because of this, so many women are afraid to speak about, the things that are happening in their bodies and with their sexuality. As a gynecologist, does this ring true for you, for someone who deals with the woman's reproductive body? Is this something that women are comfortable to speak about?
Thanks for the question. And I think you hit the nail on the head. When it comes to discussing women expressing their sexuality or problems they may have with, it's one of the issues that we as gynecologists find that they're not forthcoming. And most of they either present with you hoping that you treat either the gynae problem that they have, and in bypassing would actually solve the problem they have, which is the sexual dysfunction. Unless you sit and basically tease it out of them, most of the time you would not get the appropriate problems that they actually come in with. So most studies will quote that maybe 30% of females have these sexual disorders, but I think it may actually be more than what we actually see or do know.
Yeah, I mean, Doctor, we don't talk a lot about female sexual dysfunction. How would you describe it?
On Africa Update, we see that Kenya counts the cost of deadly landslides that have claimed 30 lives. Lulu Gabu speaks to Anthony Muchiri Muturi of Kenya Red Cross on the rescue efforts and the recovery.
Now, do we know what the death toll is standing at the moment?
Yes, we had this unfortunate disaster happen in a county called Elgeyo Marakwet in Kenya. Up to, as of yesterday, we have 34 confirmed dead, and 17 people are still missing.
And, in terms of this, we saw the visuals and unfolding on our television screens and warning of more landslides occurring. What is the situation in terms of the response, and how quick were the response teams able to get to that area? And were there any warnings prior to the landslide?
Prior to the landslide, there were no warnings. It came as a surprise to many, the residents and also the responders. But in the wee hours of the morning after it occurred around 4 a.m., Saturday morning, by around 6:30, we had our response teams responding. Most of the roads were cut off, so they had to walk and hike to get to the epicenter of the disaster. Later on, the government came in a big way to support with military choppers and police choppers to get the quick needed support of personnel, and we were able now to rescue the survivors and also refer to hospital the inpatient patients that had been were being attended to at a local hospital, St. Mary's Hospital, Chisangoni.
And then lastly, with the Upside team, from post-pandemic revenge travel to a new way of life. South Africans are on the move. Bogole Kuleni and Matsheko Musito unpack the trend with Standard Bank's Michelle Monemo.
Okay. Michelle, you've launched the Standard Bank travel app from November, the beginning of November. Tell us how it works and who is it meant for?
So we actually launched on Monday, 2 days ago, so a lot of excitement. If you're in South Africa, you would have seen us on social media, you would have seen us at the airport, so very excited about Standard Bank Travel. Maybe let me give you the background and why we felt it was really important to do this for our clients, and then I'll chat about who is it for and who qualifies. So we set out to really help our clients grow wealthier. That's something that we've been quite articulate about from about May this year, to say that what we stand for is partnering with our clients to grow wealthier. And that definition of wealthier is not just financial wealth. We believe that lifestyle and travel is a key component of helping our clients grow wealthier. And that's because we believe that their well-being is equally as important as their finances. So when you talk about travel, you talk about exposure, you talk about culture, you talk about education, you talk about well-being. And when you bring that all together, we believe that it does make our clients wealthier by helping them to live more enriching lives. So we took that and we said, we stand for this. How do we help our clients grow wealthier?
For these and more stories, please head over to our newly revamped website, www.channelafrica.co.za, for the audio-visual feeds. This is segmented, of course, for your benefit. Do find it under the video section on the Channel Africa YouTube page. 32 minutes after 10 p.m. Central African time. In a short bit, we discuss hashtag couple goals. That's turning into hashtag solo stories.
African Diaries, weekdays, 10 till midnight. Africa's very own think tank. This is Channel Africa Online. www.channelafrica.co.za.
Still be on the beat.
tells a story. It's African Diaries on Channel Africa.
Ay, ay, ay,
Life for rap, life for life, get down, dance at the records, get me one pound. Let's see. Ade.
Make I show you my bank account. Two-Face, I get it plenty to go around. So girl, make you dance when you hear this sound. Now we the puppy all over town. So tell me if you did down, did down. Do you know? Say oh, me take all I go. Girl, I know. Some things that you do not know. Whether na traffic I be go slow. Baby, I promise I go still show. Spending money, Pablo. I suppose relocate, but I go buy Belgium. My money na alele, I apply pressure. But it's not your Shiba Balaba, put on for high tension. You must apply your team, big boy, you must supply plenty. Mismanage my funds on you, all I really wanna do is mismanage my funds. Mismanage my funds on you, all I wanna do is mismanage my funds.
Alright, okay. Them bro got off for the voltage. Tilapia, kote. Bring a goofy with the cocaine. Gobe, you see the bed, do not replay. Find a bacha for my bro say. Conquer the streets with the play.
I need your billing up party, all got to come. If I handle this your body, all got so. If you put me for palava, Njepolo if I got what can a man who I be fair, ego nebe. I don't complain, it was easy, my baby,
I suppose relocate, but I go buy Belgium. My money na alele, I apply pressure. But it's like Shiba Balaba, put on for high tension. When you must apply your team, big boy, you must apply plenty. Mismanage my funds on you, all I really wanna do is mismanage my funds. Mismanage my funds on you, all I wanna do is mismanage my funds on you. All I really wanna do, I will mismanage my funds. You will wanna stop me. Mismanage my funds on you. When you don't know my problems.
Sampling the legendary Brenda Fassie's Vulindlela is Davido alongside Odumodu Black and Chika in this one titled Funds. Before that, Casey coming in with Fine Face, the remix. If you've just joined us, welcome to it. African Diaries is the name of the show. Shayla and Dikumana almost slipping on the tongue there. It is time for us to pay some bills. When we get back, we have our very first conversation. We are looking at influential couples by virtue of them being in a relationship on social media and how this affects us when they break up and why this affects us when they break up. And are we deserving of an apology? Listen, hand on hip is the real question over here. Hand on hip, utterly confused, perhaps even disappointed. And you're thinking to yourself, perhaps I deserve an apology, and this is why I'm so upset, because person A and person B that I love watching have now turned and parted ways, and they're no longer the couple, the beloved couple that I look up to. That conversation comes your way in a short bit. We kickstart off with remarks, and then we get into our chat with our expert. But for now, let's pay some bills.
Annie Kalonji sur Channel Africa.
Comment est-ce que les militants et sympathisants du parti, les transformateurs, ont-ils réagi face à la condamnation de Succès Masra?
La condamnation de Succès Masra ne nous a pas surpris et les militants transformateurs ont été bouleversés et indignés étant donné que le verdict est un verdict lourd, illégal, injuste et donc face à la répression dans laquelle le peuple tchadien est confronté, les militants transformateurs se sont résignés de ne pouvoir pas sortir manifester. Et donc, c'est une situation totalement absurde pour un pays. Et aujourd'hui, nous célébrons le 11 août, fête de l'indépendance. On pensait que le verdict allait être plus ou moins clément, mais le verdict est sévère.
Annie Kalonji, tous les dimanches sur Mix Vibration.
Turn the page. It's African Diaries on Channel Africa.
41 minutes after 10 p.m. Central African time, we're going to kickstart off with remarks. Now, if you've just joined us and you're saying, Shayla, remarks about what? We have seen couples go onto social media and they post their beloved relationships and we fall in love with them, okay? We get ready with them. We have their dress routine, attached to ours. We aspire to have their relationship and then they break things off. What happens next is the question. And so before we get into our experts' remarks, we kickstart off by listening to a few folk from social streets who have a few things to say. Let's kickstart off with Oluwase.
Again, if you post your relationship online, if you post your romantic moments, all those lovey-dovey stuff, you cannot ask for privacy when you break up. You did not ask for our own privacy. You were invading our own space, our own internet space with the love. Now you have broken up, you want us to give you privacy. The way you carried us along from the beginning of that relationship, you will take us to the end. You will give us a story time on why you broke up. Because all of us must know why. We have been rooting for you. Now you just want to say we want our privacy in this time. Did you give me my own privacy? No. Why should I give you privacy? Tell me.
I can't. I tried to contain myself, but Oluwase is onto something there. You were not doing this relationship privately, okay? We were with you. You took us to your bathroom. You showed us your night routine, okay? We even bought matching tops and this and that, and we aspired to be this, and we envisioned our partners doing the same with us. And so when you do call things quits, is it really fair that you just go radio silent on us, is the question. Let's get our next set of remarks.
Nothing irritates me more than when couples break up that are on social media as a couple, posting together every single day, sharing their lives with us. And once they break up, they're like, oh, we request privacy during this time.
I agree. Listen, I was minding my business on this internet. You and the algorithm shoved your relationship down my throat. Now you think you can just break up and not tell me what happened? I am not nosy. But there are certain people that they literally shove their relationship down our throats. Like you cannot avoid them. And then they break up and they pretend as if nothing happened. We should just move on with our lives. There was this couple. I was not looking for them. They were just always on my timeline. Always on my timeline. I broke down. I followed them. I was basically in their relationship with them for 2 years. Then they now broke up. They didn't tell us what happened. I was like, I cannot tell us what happened. But I accepted it. 4 months later, they got back together. They didn't tell us what led to their breakup. They didn't tell us how they came back together. They didn't tell us how they have resolved their issues. They came back together. I said, no problem. We continue. Another 6 months, they break up again. And this time, they did not even announce it. Just very slowly, they started to withdraw from each other's social media, from each other's life. When they announced that, I said, wait, I have not heard from these people in a long time. And I went to their individual posts. And I saw one is living in America, one is living in Europe. I say, wait, you people broke up again and you didn't tell us? That is the height of disrespect. How can you break up and you don't tell us? No, but can you imagine the audacity? How can you start a relationship? You put it on the internet for all of us to see. Like, they will come along with me. Let us go and do in vitro fertilization. I know who your gynecologist is. At this point, I am part of the family. So how can you break up and you don't tell me? Listen, if you're not ready to finish what you start, then don't even start it. No, now, get serious.
The voice there of Suleiman Talks. And that is an extensive view of what I think a great majority of the public think, is that you came into our space. The algorithm and you and your partner decided that this was a real thing. And so we indulged, we invested, we gave you our time, our likes, our opinions, our, if you will, counsel, our praise, sometimes even our correction, our reproach. We gave you ourselves. We were part of the family. And so truly speaking, in a love where online loving is such I want to say a day-to-day experience, but I'm getting a little finicky about that, and I'll tell you why in the next hour. But we experience people's love online, and that's just a factual place that we find ourselves in. We see those picture-perfect moments, those picture-perfect posts, and we buy into it, and we desire that for ourselves, no? Today, outside the remarks, we're going to be exploring the psychology behind posting your relationships on social media, the motives, the emotions, the risks, and the rewards. Joining us to unpack this, we're getting the thoughts and views of relationship coach and businesswoman Adila Fahid Naidu, who will delve into some of the digital habits that we find ourselves practicing and what this reveals about modern day societal love in the context of romantic relationships. Let's have a listen.
Hi, this is Adila Vahid Naidu, the coach South Africa, and today we are talking about the modern digital psychology, or the heart of the modern digital psychology, and then relationship dynamics. So let's unpack them one by one from a psychological and human behavior perspective. So let's talk about the motive behind posting. Why do we post? While validation, right, seeking likes, approval, recognition, dopamine hits, is often the most obvious driver, it's hardly the only reason. We cannot say the reason that I post on social media is because I want more likes, or I'm seeking approval or recognition or admiration or a dopamine hit. It's various factors. So all of that falls under validation. People share a lot of their intimate moments online for multiple layered reasons, both conscious and unconscious, intentional and unintentional. And now we're going to unpack other key possibilities, probabilities, and motives behind posting. Connection. All right, we all have a desire to feel seen, understood, and connected to others, especially when real life connections feel limited or inconsistent, whether you're going through something in a relationship or in your real life. There's limited connections with the people that you surround yourself with. So within us, we have a desire to feel seen, understood, and connected to others. What about narrative building? Posting on social media can help us construct a story about who we are, what our lives mean for us. It's almost as if one could call it a digital autobiography, sharing love and happiness. It gives an affirmation that this is my identity. This is what's important to me. Remember, in your name at the top, you put your name or your surname or your name and surname. Now with verification and getting Meta verified, many people have to put their correct name and profile picture. And then you want to, could be a display of a digital autobiography. So saying, this is my identity. This is what's important to me. This is who I am. What do you think about it? And that's when we get the likes and the shares and the comments and the engagement that takes place. And then memory keeping. That's also a key motive, believe it or not. People post as a form of digital journaling. So you're capturing and you're preserving moments of affection or milestone events. So you kind of say, listen, we are no longer in the day of printing photographs. When we look for memories of what did I do last year, where did I travel 3 years ago, you go to your highlights, you go to your Instagram stories, and you go through your stories or the stories of others, and it gives you an in-depth understanding of who they are, where they've been, what they've done, and even for yourself. So it is a way of memory keeping. And of course, when you've had a fight with your partner or things didn't work out, what do? We then archive the post, because you don't know if we're getting back together, and then you'll unarchive it. Or if it is a solid concrete breakup, you start deleting all of those pictures and all of those videos. Believe it or not, many people take screenshots of all of their pictures and videos before they delete it, because they still actually want to keep it on their cell phones, but now they no longer want to show it to all of their followers. Now let's talk about the last key motive. People do it for inspiration. People do it for expression. Others share to inspire, to express their joy, their gratitude, their appreciation publicly for their partner. So it's less about validation and more about emotional expression. So, in essence, posting can meet very deep psychological needs within ourselves: belonging, identity, connection, reassurance, self expression. But at the same time, posting does have its consequences and its effects where people post for all the wrong reasons, right? So let's talk about the emotions or needs fulfilled when sharing intimate moments publicly, right? We have emotional needs. Number one is love and belonging. Number two is security. Number three is pride and gratitude. Number four is control. And then there's self-expression, and this is for more people than less, right? We're talking about majority here. With love and belonging, one publicly declares their love, strengthening their own feeling of inclusion and shared identity. We belong together, others can see it, people need to know that I'm taken or he's taken, and there's a sense of love and belonging. Then the security, validation from others, can reinforce that a relationship is real and stable. And that's quite dangerous, I would say, that you require validation or it's an added value. Validation from others reinforces to yourself that you are in a real and stable relationship. In my personal opinion, or professional opinion rather, a relationship is supposed to be real and stable. And validation from people you don't know is not necessary. And then let's talk about pride and gratitude. When you are expressing admiration for your partner, you boost self-esteem and you reinforce appreciation. If you're on TikTok, there's many couples out there that are now going viral on social media and they've got a story behind it. Of course, monetization is now huge with social media. So many people are now getting onto it for monetization reasons, especially in other countries and now even in South Africa. The more likes you get, especially on TikTok, the more engagement, the more views, you will be paid for your content. And so couples are getting together and they're creating some very exciting content. They're creating niche content that zooms into whatever their focus is on, and they have a collective following which grows and grows and grows. And of course, it can be monetized. Now let's talk about the last key motive. People do it for inspiration. People do it for expression. Others share to inspire, to express their joy, their gratitude, their appreciation publicly for their partner. So it's less about validation and more about emotional expression. So, in essence, posting can meet very deep psychological needs within ourselves: belonging, identity, connection, reassurance, self expression. But at the same time, posting does have its consequences and its effects where people post for all the wrong reasons, right? So let's talk about the emotions or needs fulfilled when sharing intimate moments publicly, right? We have emotional needs. Number one is love and belonging. Number two is security. Number three is pride and gratitude. Number four is control. And then there's self-expression, and this is for more people than less, right? We're talking about majority here. With love and belonging, one publicly declares their love, strengthening their own feeling of inclusion and shared identity. We belong together, others can see it, people need to know that I'm taken or he's taken, and there's a sense of love and belonging. Then the security, validation from others, can reinforce that a relationship is real and stable. And that's quite dangerous, I would say, that you require validation or it's an added value. Validation from others reinforces to yourself that you are in a real and stable relationship. In my personal opinion, or professional opinion rather, a relationship is supposed to be real and stable. And validation from people you don't know is not necessary. And then let's talk about pride and gratitude. When you are expressing admiration for your partner, you boost self-esteem and you reinforce appreciation. If you're on TikTok, there's many couples out there that are now going viral on social media and they've got a story behind it. Of course, monetization is now huge with social media. So many people are now getting onto it for monetization reasons, especially in other countries and now even in South Africa. The more likes you get, especially on TikTok, the more engagement, the more views, you will be paid for your content. And so couples are getting together and they're creating some very exciting content. They're creating niche content that zooms into whatever their focus is on, and they have a collective following which grows and grows and grows. And of course, it can be monetized. Um, another reason or emotional need rather is control. Posting curated content allows individuals to control the narrative. So you want to portray your relationship in the best light. This is my relationship and I'm so happy and this is what we look like and this is how it feels and this is my life, etc., etc. That level of control, controlling the narrative, portraying what people need to see, gives people a sense of self-worth, that this is who I am. And that's not necessarily who they are. It could actually be the total opposite of what they're showing you. And then self-expression, sharing emotions and milestones, satisfying a creative and expressive urge. But remember, all of these things I've spoken about can also mask insecurities, because when someone feels unseen in their private life, they might seek visibility publicly.
It is a minute 30 seconds to 11 p.m. Central African time. The voice there of relationship coach and businesswoman Adila Fayed Naidu, and she's essentially walking us through the realities of posting your relationship publicly rather. We'd love to hear your thoughts, your views. We had two remarks coming in, one by Suleiman Talks and the other by Oluwashe. And so if you want to share your thoughts and views, particularly looking at couples who are dating publicly, who are romancing publicly, and then go on to break off, and this affecting you to an extent. Does it affect you? Yes, no, maybe. Find us on WhatsApp. Tell us all about it. +27634069126. We're going to delve deeper into the psychological element, looking at firstly how this affects you when you are posting on social media, this being your relationship, and the boundaries that are necessary in order for you to have a healthy, happy relationship when the cameras go off. Let's have a listen.
All right,
The
let's move
G20
on
Summit
to the psychological
through
risks
African
and benefits of sharing intimate relationship content publicly. So let's talk about the benefits. There's positive reinforcement, which means that when you share authentically, it can increase feelings of gratitude, joy, and emotional connection within yourself, right? Then there's the social support. So public acknowledgement can attract encouragement, empathy, community support, especially when you're going through something and then you post about it and then people start feeling empathy towards you and start commenting, etc., collecting memories, as I said, and identity affirmation. Now, it's important for us to look at the risks, because there are quite a few risks about posting online about your relationship. The social comparison. Couples may unconsciously compare their relationships to others, because this now creates unrealistic standards of self-doubt. If I see they so happy and we not, this comparison, the social comparison, can destroy people's relationships and their own sense of self-worth, especially if they have so low self-esteem and low sense of self-worth and their relationship is in trouble. What about external pressure? The need to maintain a perfect online image can lead to performance anxiety or emotional dishonesty in the relationship, where you tell your partner, Just smile. We need to smile, get into the picture, do this, do that, sit next to me, hold my hand, take a picture of me. And the other person, your partner, is like, what's going on? Like, seriously, give this a break. So the external pressure can make you put pressure on your partner, and then you're creating this perfect online image. And the performance anxiety is very real because there's like emotional dishonesty in the relationship over a period of time. And then, most importantly, breach of privacy, because oversharing your life, your personal life, exposes your intimate dynamics or your vulnerabilities. And later on in your life, you might not be happy about it. You'll see on social media a lot of people commenting saying, you guys broke up. We don't know anything. We've been a part of this relationship. We invested. Tell us more. Like, you can't just go cold turkey on us and not tell us. We've been part of everything from the time you guys wake up till you go to bed. We are invested. So give us the tea. And then what about conflicting triggers? So you're going to post something over a period of time. You get used to the idea that I can post whatever I want. We good, we cool, until your partner says, why did you post that? Or why didn't you post about me in that? It's all about you. Why is the page on your name? Or we grew this page together and now you're featuring less of me and more of you. Or why did you post that? That goes beyond the boundary. Or why can't we go on holiday in peace? I have to keep taking lots of pictures of you. So the breach of privacy and the boundaries and limitations become a problem. And then conflict triggers. So disagreement over what is posted. I've just mentioned that the breach of privacy, of having regret later, and then emotional dependence. The relationship's validation becomes tied to the online engagement metrics, because now you've created this algorithm, you and your partner, because you've posted over and over again about yourselves, about your lives, about your happiness and your love, and where you've gone and where you've traveled, and your honeymoon and your food and his likes and dislikes. And then you start connecting the relationship. The validation becomes tied to that engagement figures. How much of engagement has there been on our page? What the metrics are looking like? The metrics are rather, I don't want to say metrics because they're writing finals now in schools. So the METRICS. So those are your statistics in social media. What are the likes? What are the comments? That can erode self-esteem in a relationship. Let's now talk about practical boundary tips that I can offer you. Agree as a couple. Discuss and define what both partners are comfortable with sharing, whether it's photos, milestones, inside jokes, disagreements. If I were you, if I were me, I would strongly recommend to you to consider drawing up some sort of agreement that you both sign, believe it or not, because later on you can always refer back to that agreement and say, look, there's a breach of privacy, there's a breach of the agreement, let's go back and talk about it. Because your partner could easily say, I don't remember saying that I couldn't post that. And then avoid posting during emotional highs and lows. When you guys are going through emotional highs and lows, stay off social media. Deal with your problems, deal with your challenges, and then come back on, because intensive emotions will definitely cloud your judgment. And then you feel like, okay, we've had a fight, I've shared it. Oh, wow, our numbers went up like crazy. Now let's start creating more fights. It might be nice in the beginning, especially when you're monetizing, but it's not nice later on when those fights actually become habitual and serious. And then you're in a position where you're saying, hold on, have we gone too far? Also, many people have broken up on social media. You've seen, oh, they were my favorite couple, they were couple goals, love goals, romance goals, and then they divorced. And then you're looking back and you're like, okay, I've actually created my entire relationship based on my inspiration or admiration that I've had for them. And now they've broken up and they've gotten divorced. And then your bubble is burst. And then what do you do? When your bubble is burst, what do you do? What do you do with yourself? What do you do with your own relationship? If you have based your relationship on looking at somebody else's picture perfect relationship on social media, what then happens to your own relationship? Keep sacred moments private, and there's wisdom here. Some experiences gain value precisely because they belong just to you and your partner. And let that be special. We're living in a time where people share everything, they share everything. And so there's no opportunity for anyone to have anything private in their lives anymore. So learn to keep sacred moments private. And then lastly, practice. Pause before you post. Take 10 minutes. And only if you have a feeling within you that says, this feels right, then share it. Ask yourself that question. When you created the content, listen to it, go back and watch it. Take some time, reflect upon it, and then make the decision. Go with your feeling.
The voice there of relationship coach and businesswoman Adila Faid Naidu. And she was looking at the psychology behind posting your relationship on social media. This being the motives, the reasons, the risks, the rewards, and essentially what comes with doing so. The reality that people get attached to your relationship is also something to consider. My question to you is, let's reverse psychology this, and let's talk about if you were that couple. Okay, say you've got your 2 million followers. Okay, we see you shining bright like a star, shine bright like a diamond, and you and your partner decide that you are going to take it onto social media to post. Would the audience matter to you? I'm curious. Find us on WhatsApp +276340699126. From relationship goals to blood group compatibility. Did you know that blood group compatibility when you're trying to procreate is important? And also, what do you know about it? Please share that with me. Find us on WhatsApp. I want that voice note. +276340699126. It is 8 after 11 p.m. Central African Time.
Get Channel Africa on DSTV Audio Bouquet. Channel 802.
I told you, man. It's King Tick Pandemics.
Chimani pass a peace of mind. She got a man, but he had no mind. The pass a love, baby, don't be stingy. The way he phone now, can't you see? Baby, baby. Osani see you, no see way. Baby, baby. Osani panga, chipuba, Superman. Nini na power, monga Superman. I'm gonna protect you, monga Superman. Nina olimba, monga Superman. Give you what belongs to Caesar. To Caesar, baby, I'm the leader. You what she touch it, deliver. Give you what belongs to Caesar. To Caesar, baby, I'm the leader. Deliver.
Call a big baller. My lady's coming to want more. She love the way I put it down, but even more, she love my aura. Shake like thunder, beat like drama. This right here is a la casa. Somebody please call emergency. The way the girl is hurting me, yeah. I like her, she a freak. My wife, she a keeper. No one like her, she a sniper. My type of ghetto diva. I like her, she a freak. My wife, she a keeper. No one like her, she a sniper. My type of ghetto diva. Superman. Shawty say you want a Superman. Baby, you know you a superwoman. So you and I could be the super friends. Baby, I'm a lover. Baby, I'm a pleaser. Give it to you harder. Never will I tease you. Eat it like salad. Call that a season. So when I'm in Rome, you should follow the leader. Give me what belongs to Caesar. To Caesar, baby, I'm the leader. You watch it, touch it, deliver. Give me what belongs to Caesar. To Caesar, baby, I'm the leader.
Superman. Nini na power, monga Superman. I'm gonna protect you, monga Superman. Nina olimba, monga Superman.
It is 11 minutes past 11 p.m. Central African Time, 23:11. If you've just joined us, Yo Maps is in the background, and that one is titled Superman alongside Omarion. This is African Diaries. The name is Shayla Ndikumana, and we have fairly 49 minutes together. And we're about to get into this conversation that shook my boat, for the lack of a better phrase. Now, during pregnancy, childbirth, or certain procedures, the baby's HR positive red blood cells may enter the mother's bloodstream. Her immune system may then see these HR antigens as foreign and produce antibodies. Why is this important? Because maybe, just maybe, your blood group is crucial, critical when it comes to procreating. Joining us on the line to explain this further is Ugandan-based Dr. Tumusime Nyamurungi, who joins us to give us context on why blood group compatibility is important. Doctor, thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to African Diaries.
Thank you so much for having me.
Doctor, I'm not going to lie. I was today years old. Okay. A few minutes years old, in actual fact, when I discovered that the blood group compatibility conversation is one that we're having. For somebody who's thinking to themselves, how, when, what's going on? Because all we know is our blood group, but we don't necessarily know how the combination of the two might affect one over the other. Perhaps give us context.
Okay, so that's one thing that I always think about. I think I've always told people, I make this joke and say that when you're dating someone, the first time you meet someone, it's okay, go out, have fun, and eat and everything. And the second date, if someone is like, okay, let's go out for a second date before emotions come into the thing, you're like, let's first begin from the hospital, let's get to know our blood groups, let's get to know our risk factors, let's get to know all those things before we begin catching feelings, and then it's all a whole other situation. It's much harder. And the reason for this is so we have different blood groups. I don't know if I should get into all the details right now, or if it will be easier for you to ask what part it is that you need, and then
Yeah.
so that I avoid bombarding you with information at the same time.
So, Doc, best we get into an overview, and then we will talk about the different blood groups for those who,
Mm.
in actual fact, for me, Shayla, who has never thought about this, let's have an overview just to understand how important it is. Because you make that joke on the second date, I must know your blood type, but what am I going to do with that information if I don't even understand how it affects the next, you know? So perhaps context on that first before we get into the different types.
Okay, so first of all, it is very important. There are certain tests that you need to make sure that you do to assess for medical compatibility with a partner. This is information which I realize that most people actually do not have, and that is why I actually decided to make it a goal of mine to teach the public about things that if they knew out there in the public, when they come to the hospitals, they're in a much better place, or there's some things that we could have avoided in the first place. Now, when it comes to our blood groups, we have everybody has like we have different blood groups. There are four main blood groups, right? So on those blood groups, say for example, if you are blood group A, there is always some little thing that's added on top of the blood group, like either it's A plus or A minus. Now, the most common one is A plus, which means that the plus represents rhesus, and normally we deal with the thing that you were calling HR, but it's RH. So it is rhesus, and it's supposed to be when the D is you have it. Most people do have the D antigen, then it means that you are rhesus positive. So that is why, for example, for me, I am blood group A, and I am A plus. So if I am A plus, then it means that I am A rhesus positive. And that one doesn't normally call for alarm, except maybe for example women who are blood group O, sometimes it can have a little bit of issues and or due to the dynamics that we're going to see. But those ones tend to be not as bad as the ones who are, for example, A minus, or for example O minus or D minus or B minus. That minus up there on a woman is one which is going to be problematic, and so it is important. um, Best case scenario, your partner is also a minus. That means that if you have children, they're all going to be minuses, so there's nothing to worry about there. if your partner is a plus, it means that your body, when you have a minus on, let me say, for example, if I was A minus, it means if my partner, let me say, is O plus, and we end up having a child who's, let me say, for example, O plus or A plus, it means the minus means that for me, if I am minus, it means I do not have the antigen, or I am D minus the antigen. So if I am minus that antigen, it means that the baby, if they are plus, then I am going to recognize their antigen as a foreign body or as an enemy trying to attack the battlefield or something like that. And so I am going to raise all ammunition to attack that plus because in my blood it is foreign. So if I am minus, it means I'm going to be, let me say, O minus, I'm going to look for that plus in the baby. Now, if that plus is, the baby is a plus, my blood is going to attack the baby's blood. So depending on the degree of how big is it, it can either just be a minor attack. For say for example, it normally happens in children that come after. So maybe the firstborns usually survive. That's if you've not had any other events. Let me say, for example, having an ectopic pregnancy, having an abortion, having a miscarriage. If you've not had any of those in the past, if you've not had them, it means the firstborn child most of the times are known to survive this first period because their blood, your blood, hasn't been sensitized to the baby's plus, if that makes sense. And then the babies that come thereafter, it's like already they leaked that plus into the blood. So the mother's blood will attack the baby with a very strong urge. And so most times these women will miscarry. So the kind of women who you'll find she's had like over 8 miscarriages, over 9, 10 miscarriages, and she can't seem to understand what's happening. Why is she having these miscarriages and everything? So yes, until eventually you get to know. And the problem is if you get to know a bit later, even if you do get the injection that protects you, if you've had a lot of exposure like that, it tends to be a bit harder because of how the injection works in protecting the baby. I don't know if that's an overview or if it's a lot of information, but that's basically
Yeah.
why you need to know your blood group and rhesus.
Doctor, I don't think you've shared too much. In actual fact, dare I say, I need to go back and listen to this because there are a few pointers that had me going, wait a minute, what are we saying about this? Right? So, just to understand, I want to see if Shayla's brain is alive at 19 minutes after 11 p.m. Central African time. You're saying that the recess positive, which would be your A plus, your B plus, your O plus, those are the good guys. Yes? To an
The
extent.
common guys. The common guys.
Common.
Yes.
And
Yes.
for the most part, best case scenario is that your partner is also a positive. Then
Yes, if your partner is also positive.
there's no recognition of these antigens that are not necessarily as per the lady's DNA, and so there's no fighting happening. Same goes with the negative, which are not as common as the positive, is what I'm understanding.
Yes, they're not as common. But if you're minus, it means also the partner, best case scenario, also is a minus.
All right. You spoke about miscarriages, and this is a phenomenon that we've seen happen across the field, across the board, with a woman from any part of the world. Do we understand that the blood group contributes heavily to what's going on in the female's body? Is this something that people are cognizant of? Because I'm saying I'm today years old. I can only imagine a couple madly in love didn't even think of groups of blood and whatever have you. All they tested was, are we healthy? Is our reproductive system healthy? Are you healthy? Am I healthy? And then we went for it. And then only to find ourselves in a predicament where the baby doesn't make it. Is this something that doctors often talk about? Is there an awareness that we can say exists in society that maybe we've turned a blind eye to?
I think doctors do talk about it, but I think by the time, okay, let me put it this way. I think most times, because people are not necessarily aware about it or aware of it, most times doctors will not necessarily, it will not be a conversation that's the first one to be brought up. Most times by the time it comes to the consultation rooms, someone has already had this problem, someone has already been miscarrying several times until they're like, let's do these tests and just see what's going on with that. Because sometimes, for example, maybe someone says because these are normally things that you do firsthand. A person who is pregnant, you want to know what's your blood group, what's this, what's going on. So if you get pregnant from, like, if you get pregnant continental in a renowned hospital or with doctors who are like basically with qualified doctors or medical professionals, that is something that is spotted out very quickly, and they let you know that this is something that could happen, and so look out for it. Most people do not necessarily look out for it, especially, and I mean, people in the community, especially because that's why I said that we need to make it a point that on the second date, like before feelings get involved, because the moment feelings get involved, it doesn't matter if it's a blood group incompatibility, it doesn't matter if it's sickle cell, your genotypes, it doesn't matter. Someone is just like, you know what, I'm going to wade through it and we're going to see how we go about it. And the good thing with the rest issue is that for it, it's something that you can manage and you can control if it is well done. That if someone doesn't have maybe history of having had an abortion or having had an ectopic pregnancy before, none of that is in the picture. So when people do, by the time most patients present to the hospital with these things, they have been in the communities and people tell them, for example, like in Uganda, they've been telling them, you know what, these are like, maybe it's like a curse, or it's like something going on in the family, or something going on, maybe she's unlucky or something like that. So by the time she gets into the hospital with this as a concern, then she has already had like a lot of this damage going on. It's already really a very big problem. Yes, so that is why now those of us who are able to most, because most doctors are usually a bit very introverted, but those of us who try to be like, let me get out there and try to teach people, because it's one of the conversations that gained the most momentum in the community. That shows how much people really didn't know about it and everything. So yes, it's something that we do. It's something that I even do on my website. I make sure to like see couples first, do premarital counseling, assess the compatibility, let them know like, okay, now this is okay. If another challenge is to come, it will not be coming from this, or this is the challenge, and then this is how you can go about it to avoid complications or things like that. So yes, that's on awareness.
The voice there of Dr. Tumusime Nyamurungi joining us this evening, Ugandan based doctor. And she's walking us through the realities of this rhesus positive and negative cells, if you will, and these antigens, how they enter the body, given that your partner's of a different blood type. Listen, a lot is happening here. And all I'm thinking to myself is, Shayla, on your second date, will you be asking your partner what blood type you are, right? Because for a fact, I know where I stand. I know I'm a B plus. I'm like, yes, very common, meaning my gene pool is quite large. More chances of finding my desired partner. But I'm thinking for those who don't have that context. So, doctor, for those who are maybe a negative, so A negative or AB negative, you spoke about a potential protecting injection that one can receive, and this would then aid in the process of pregnancy and protect the child from the antibodies that would try and fight the child's gene. Let's talk about that. How do people go about requesting for that? What's the process, and also what's the success rate of this particular injection?
Okay, so first of all, to ease to ease the whole dating tension, I just have to say that even I, for my husband, I did the same vetting. Please, I was like, I'm not going to teach people things that I do not do. So the same thing happens in the first date. I was like, okay, it's fine. So when it eventually went well, I was like, you know what? Since it's going well, and he was like, okay, let's go on a second date. I was like, before we have a second date, please, sir, you are coming to my consult, and I'm testing you myself for things because I knew my own situation. I was like, yes, I was like, I have to know yours. Because if anything, there are so many things that we can't control, for example, in relationships or like in a marriage or etc. But the things that you can't control, it's better for you not to be like illiterate or ignorant about them, because ignorance isn't bliss when you're seeing your babies dying, when you're miscarrying all the time, when babies are like continually sick and everything. So it's not really bliss in that situation. So yes, we may not have control of everything. I know that I am not God. I don't know what will come, what will not come. But for the things that you know about, it's better for you to make sure that those things are out of the way, right? I think those things help a lot because I have seen so many couples, like so many couples. You find it's not easy miscarrying one child, and then miscarrying four, five, six, seven. It breaks families, it breaks marriages, it breaks, all those situations put so much strain. So it's very important that if you can avoid it before things get very complicated, families are involved and everything, just live it be. Now, when it comes to the part of the injection, so first of all, I want to say this: that if you're a person, especially if you're a woman and you're rhesus negative, that is where you have to be on high alert, like on high, high, high alert. Whether you're A minus or B minus or AB minus or O minus, you must be on high alert at all levels, right? Um, and that is because it is your blood that will attack a plus baby. So if your partner is a plus, it means your baby, if you have a baby who's a plus, maybe your blood is going to attack the plus, because for you, minus means I am minus the antigen. That means I don't have the antigen in me. That means if I see the antigen, I'm going to attack it. So that is how it can simply be described. So if you are a woman, that is one thing that you look out for. Now, for the injection, it's called the anti-D injection. It is something that if someone is rhesus negative, so it is something that if someone is rhesus negative, any kind of exposure that you have had to blood over pregnancy. So let me say, if your partner is a minus, then you don't need to have the injection. You don't need to have the injection because there is literally no sensitization. Now, the injection works by, so what we call sensitization is when if the baby is rhesus plus, or maybe even say, for example, if the mother is A minus and the baby, let me say, is O plus, if the baby's blood leaks into the mother's bloodstream, let me just let you know that when you are pregnant, there is no mixing of blood generally, for example, between the mother and the baby. It's a whole other system, we call it fetal circulation. The blood doesn't necessarily get into contact with each other, and yet the baby depends on the mother's blood. It's some very beautiful physics that the Lord created. However, if any sort of damage happens, so for example, if maybe it was an ectopic pregnancy, and the baby's blood, so babies, for example, that's when there's like rupture, and the baby's contents mix with the mother's contents. But let me say, if she had a miscarriage or if she had an abortion, and there is that leakage between the baby's blood and the mother's blood, the mother, remember, if she's minus, she doesn't have, she doesn't recognize, her blood doesn't recognize the plus blood on the baby. So it means that when they do mix up like this and she gets a sensitization, it's like I always think about it like soldiers in war, right? So it's like the baby's plus blood leaks into the mother's minus blood. The baby will, if it's mother's blood, will be like, wait, we have an enemy in the ground, we have an enemy. So it's going to come and like gets like ammunition, let's prepare to fight the enemy. Now, if it's a firstborn, if it's a, for example, a firstborn child, by the time it's like, let me recognize, and maybe if there was maybe like, let me say, trauma in the pregnancy, maybe she was hit or something and the blood leaked and it's still like it's still early, that's where the problem would be. But if it was already like, let me say, normally that leakage will happen in a normal delivery, it will happen when during delivery, if everything was okay during the pregnancy. So if at delivery the mother is having the baby, by the time the blood is alerted, oh, we have an enemy, the baby is coming out, right? So that's why the firstborns usually survive. But if the subsequent pregnancy is the second, remember this is, for example, the same partner that you have, and the other babies are also plus. It means that our blood has memory, right? So the memory that the firstborn child left an ammunition of, you know what? There was an enemy that we had last time. So this time, when this baby gets into the mix, the blood is quickly sensitized, like now he's here. So all ammunition are much quicker to come and hit the baby. That's why they begin having subsequent miscarriages. So if maybe let me say your blood was sensitized at in an abortion or in an ectopic pregnancy, then it's the same thing that happens. The ammunition wakes up for even the firstborn child, because now the ammunition was already there in previous events. So even the firstborn child will not survive this heat in such cases. Um, so the anti-D injection practically works like that. It will come into the system. It's used, for example, if let me say if you're a woman who is minus, and let me say you've just had a miscarriage, let me say it's your first one, it is important if you're doing this with your gyne and your gyne is aware, they will give you that anti-D injection. So it works literally by that anti-D. So it will hit the baby, it will kind of destroy the baby's positive that is in the blood before your blood recognizes it. Now, that is the reason as to why it works better when it's the first time exposure, that very first time exposure. Because if it already your blood was sensitized very highly, you're not sure if it's going to cover up all the bases because it's literally just hitting the positives that are there so that your blood doesn't recognize and come to hit them and kill them practically. So when you are pregnant, normally they'll give you 3 injections. Some people say 2, some say 3, but where I've practiced, we do give 3 injections. So one is at about 24 to 28 weeks. The second is at about 32 to 34 weeks, and the third injection will be given to you about within 34 hours or 72 hours after you have delivered. And all this is to try to cover the bases as much as possible to make sure that the baby's positive like is masked a lot and the mother does not raise all forces against the baby's blood. So that's why if someone has already had so many miscarriages or so many issues have already happened, it is a bit harder. And now when you come to asking about the efficiency, yes, if it's the first time and it's done well, then the efficiency is going to be good. I can't say 100%, but I can say probably a good 90%. But if you've had more miscarriages like before, and maybe let me say your number, there are some women who you find say when they got it, it was much better, and maybe they conceived the next babies. But there are some who even after that they do not have proper resolution and they still keep on having miscarriages. So the earlier it is done, the better. That is why if you're rhesus negative and a woman, it's important to sit under a guide, let them know of your concerns, and let that be started as soon as possible. If you've had a history, maybe let me say when you were younger, maybe let me say you've gotten married at, let me say at 30, you've gotten married, but at 14 you had an abortion. You have to tell that to your guy, like, I had an abortion at 14, and let her be aware of that, or let him be aware of that information, because our blood has memory. So, yeah, I hope that helps.
Doctor, I'm sitting here and all our team members are gobsmacked. Right. I think the first thing that you said, our blood has memory, that in and of itself is a conversation for another day. But in
Yeah.
context, I want to find out how this anti-D injection affects the child. You said that it turns their particular rhesus gene or that protein into the mother's so that the mother's doesn't come for an attack. Right. How does that affect the baby? Does it affect the
No, it
baby at
doesn't.
all?
It doesn't turn. It's okay. Now you're not in this case you're not dealing necessarily with the baby. You're dealing with the baby's blood and the sensitization of the baby's blood. So it's like this. It is called anti-D because it is anti-D. Okay. Now, if you had a let me say, for example, I am rhesus negative. Let me say I am blood group A minus and my husband is B plus. So my husband is plus. If we have a child who is B minus or B plus or B plus, okay, let's say our assumption is this. I am A minus. Let me say my husband is B plus and our baby is B plus or A plus, as long as the baby has that plus that they got from the father, it means that for them they have the soldier that my blood doesn't have because I do not have the blood, that is why I am minus. I do not have the D, that is why I am D minus. Hmm? My baby has the soldier, which is plus. That means that our two bloods, for lack of a better word, do not cannot work together in a
Yeah.
same space because they are enemies against each other. Now, let me first help you understand this. If the baby, let me say for example, the reason why it's not a big deal if the husband is the one who is the minus is because if the husband is a minus and the baby, let me say, becomes minus and me, I am plus, okay? The baby in that situation may try to attack me instead or attack my blood, but the volumes are too different. My volumes drown the baby's volumes. So, for example, a baby's volumes are around 80 mils per kilogram. So, if it's a baby who is 2 kilograms, it means the full amount of blood they have in them is, let me say, 160 mils. It's not even a 200 mils, not even a full water bottle, okay? But for me, I am walking around with about 3 to 5 liters of blood. That means that even if the baby tries to attack me, they cannot drown me and destroy my blood, because my volumes will like it will overwhelm them. But for the baby, because it's like 3 liters of blood trying to drown 160 minutes, so much easier. So the anti-D injection works by, if maybe I am minus, the baby is plus. The anti-D is literally anti-D. Now, it's not given to you, let me say, for example, it's given to prevent the sensitization that your blood had. Okay, for example, if I've had my firstborn child, my child has been born normal, and for them they are plus, I am minus. I still get the injection because the injection is dealing with the blood that is in my bloodstream. It's not attacking the baby, it's attacking the blood that is in my bloodstream. So, for example, if there are pluses that have leaked into my bloodstream, it's going to attack them and kind of cancel them so that my blood doesn't recognize those pluses. Because if it recognizes those pluses, it's going to look for their source, and their source is that baby. Okay? I'm trying to explain this in terms of like as if we're like in some kind of combat field or something so that it can make sense.
Yeah.
So the baby is not harmed, but that if you do not cancel them out of my blood, I am going to look for the source and I'm going to destroy that source. And so what you do is cover them up, like cover them up, tell them, you know what, it's not time for you to show yourself right now. Please cover yourself up. And then when the baby is out safely, that is what we are hoping for. Because if I sense those soldiers in my battlefield, please, I am going to destroy them very, very quickly. So I hope that makes sense. So
Yeah.
it kind of masks the effect that the baby's blood would have, because it's like, for example, soldiers coming out slowly, slowly, but my snipers are like out and around looking like, where are they? Where are they? So the snipers, instead, you make them kind of dress like the soldiers that are coming that are few, you kind of make them dress like the same team that they're trying to attack, so that the snipers don't notice them. Because if the snipers see you from there, even if you're just two, they are going
Yeah.
to start attacking, because they know these soldiers can't just come two of them. They must be manual. So they'll easily attack the whole army. I don't know if that makes sense.
That is
But yes,
making a lot of sense. Doctor,
yes.
you have painted the picture ever so beautifully. So I think as a parting shot, I want to find out from you, for couples who are already in there, because I mean, this feels taboo to me, but it could be very well known to very many. For those who
Yeah.
have already stepped into marriage, into relationship, they're set in stone with their partner. Taking the uh, anti-D injection is the solution. However, let's talk about the prevalence and the access to this anti-D injection. Is it affordable? And this is, of course, fairly across the board. You know, is it something that now they need to sit down and budget for, because this is their way out, and so we want them to do it correctly. Just in your gaze and of course your knowledge, is this affordable? Is it accessible?
I think first of all, if you're a couple that's already in there, like I've said, if you're a woman that is minus, please, 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 please make sure that you go to get to your guy before. If you have any history in your life that should call for attention, if you aborted, it doesn't matter if you aborted at 12 or 13 or 14 or you aborted last year, it doesn't matter. Let your gynecologist know about that, because it means your blood is already sensitized. If your partner is also a minus, that is okay. If you're both minuses, that is fine. If your partner is a plus, please make sure that all your visits are under a gynecologist, all of them, all of them. That means as soon as you don't know you're pregnant, like please antenatal. And before we get pregnant, while we're still on the topic of getting pregnant, please, before you get pregnant, I beg you in the name of God, first start your folic acid. If your pregnancy is planned, start folic acid. Anybody, any person that's trying to get pregnant, doesn't matter whether you're plus, minus, blood groups aside, make sure that your folic acid is intact, preferably 3 months before you get pregnant. That's if you are planning your pregnancy, because this helps. These are also other things that are part of pregnancy. It's not just the rhesus thing. But now that you're on the issue of the rhesus factor and the blood groups, please make sure that you're taking care of your pregnancy properly. Now, when you do get there, you get to your guide and start the anti-D injection. For example, they'll give you time in the pregnancy that they'll start it. If, for example, you let me say by the time you go, you miscarry very early because the injection is given in about second trimester. So the guy will have to begin making some modifications to see some maybe do we have to give it earlier? Do we have because at some point you find as soon as she gets pregnant, before even she gets out of first trimester, she's terminating the pregnancy. So those are also things, and these are all best case by case basis, depending on what your situation is. Now, the last time I checked in Uganda, particularly, the injection was probably around 300,000, which is probably around $100. I think around $100, or maybe a bit less, maybe like around $80 to $100. That is for the injection. I don't know if it's a different situation right now. I don't know. I'm not so sure what the price range is. But for example, right now, so it means that if you are doing probably, I don't know if in the government hospitals it is much cheaper, but that is its price on the market, probably around there. If it has gone up, then it should still be around there. So I don't know. Of course, now they are saying, is it affordable? It's subjective. It depends on where you are, what your income status is, but anywhere between $80 to $100, and it will be, it's available. It's really available. At least I know for my country, it's a very available because it's a very common problem that we have. I don't know if it's given out for free in government facilities. I am not so sure about that. But yes, generally it is, and it will give you a very good chance, a very good fighting chance. But everybody's story is different. Some people it's better, some people it's not. Especially if you have already been sensitized. If your blood has already been sensitized, that's when you just do your best and you just hope for the best. But if the blood hasn't yet been sensitized and you're starting on patient zero, like you're on pregnancy number one, then you have a very good chance at winning this war. So yeah.
And then lastly, Doctor, a question coming in here from Lungan Tlapo, who is asking about side effects on Mummy Bear, because Mummy Bear is the one getting the injection. What are some of the side effects she will be experiencing?
I haven't known of any side effects really. It's just probably the pain from the injection itself, but I haven't gotten any particularly reported side effects that are there. But of course, everybody is different. There's no one that's a textbook. I really don't know. But as far as I'm concerned, as far as I know, I haven't seen like major side effects.
Dr. Nyamurungi, thank you so much for joining us. This has been insightful as per suggestion on social media. But also, I do think it's one conversation that we need to revisit and thoroughly look at, because these are not the things you're thinking. This is not top of mind when you're entering the dating pool, you know? This is not one of the first 10 things that you're thinking about. And so you have brought light and clarity to us, and we appreciate you for that.
Thank you.
The voice there of Dr. Tumusime Nyamurungi joining us, Ugandan-based doc, explaining to us the importance of looking at your blood group. Blood group compatibility isn't about whether or not you and your partner will make it as a good couple. It's about whether or not your children will make it. Because there was a whole entire lesson around the rhesus antigen, and how if your rhesus antigen is negative as a woman, it is critical for you to firstly be on the lookout, because you or your gene is most likely to attack the baby should they be a positive, and this is something they inherited from their father. It doesn't matter if you're A, O, B, A plus, all of the different groups don't matter. It is the rhesus gene that we were looking at today. And so if you're saying to yourself, Shayla, that is too much information, it is 11:45 in the middle of the night, I want you to rewatch this podcast. I want you to watch this because I know it's going to be podcasted. We're going to put it on YouTube under the video section. And I want you to take in this data before you think of bewedding that person. It is going to help you and them understand how you are stepping into a new chapter, which is procreating and having a family and making sure that your children are healthy, they are safe, and they are less prone to different kinds of blood attacks. And this is during pregnancy. 15 before the show comes to an end. I wonder if we will be able to squeeze in the producer's corner. Listen, let's get some music for now.
With gratitude for the voices, the rhythm, and the dreams that unite us all.
Roho ya Afrika inaishi katika kila hadithi tunayosimulia.
Each new day is a gift, a reminder to pause, to breathe, and to give thanks for the laughter we share and the journeys we take, and the stories stories that shape who we are.
Cada nascer do sol, lembre que há algo pelo qual ser grato.
La vie est un voyage, parcourons-la avec gratitude.
Channel Africa. Celebrate the beauty of life with gratitude for the voices, the rhythms, and the dreams that unite us all. This is Africa with Channel Africa, the African perspective. We are on Open Views Audio Bouquet. Channel 628.
Another banger. Girl, in your love, where they ginger me. You they give me the love and the energy. Only you where they hide me like Hennessy, baby, Girl, in your love, where they ginger me. You they give me the love and the energy. Only you where they giving me melody, Yeah, this love me I never see before, baby, This love me I never feel before, baby, This kind girl way I never see before. I go America, go London, me I never see before, baby, Sweeter than Fanta, Coca-Cola, oh yeah, Sweet in my belly, oh, I'ma get no go give me jetty, oh. Bomb blessy, baby, oh. I no go do you Johnny, oh, baby, oh. Now you, where they make me they do. Yeah, now you, where they make me they do. Now you where I choose, you they make me they do. I they do la mumu, yeah, mo bro. Girl, in your love, where they ginger me, you they give me the love and the energy. Only you where they hide me like Hennessy, baby, Girl, in your love, where they ginger me, you they give me the love and the energy. Only you where they giving me melody, I'ma get na you, I go fight for. I'ma get na you, say na you, I go die for. I no get motor, but na you, I go ride for. When I they sing, say na you, I they sing for. Wine baby dance, make you move for the dance floor. I'ma get shit, no be me, you they fall for. Wine slow, boogie down low. Now the first time where I they in love, oh. It be like drug where they make me slow. Anywhere you go, I go follow you go. Move, oh. Monica, hey, Monica, Monica, hello, Monica, come my way, never let go. She say, oh, before like it, me I know, me I know we do you any money more. Yeah, even if I be bad commando. Girl, in your love, where they ginger me, you they give me the love and the energy. Only you where they hide me like Hennessy, baby, Girl, in your love, where they ginger me, you they give me the love and the energy. Only you where they giving me melody,
50 minutes after 11 p.m. Central African time. I don't know if people are going to be wanting to sing this song after the conversation we just had. Ginger me, for those who know, you know what it means. I don't know if we want to be talking about ginger me after finding out that blood type compatibility is so important. If you've just joined us 10 minutes before the show comes to an end, I am dragging along my producer for the producer's corner because I want to talk about this article I saw 8 days ago. Beautiful lady, right? It's actually the first time we're seeing each other, right? So you're welcoming me, I'm welcoming you. It's just welcome. You're welcome to it.
Seeing you on social media made me believe with each other every day.
Ma'am, no. I need to feel the presence, okay? I don't feel the presence.
Yeah.
Anyway, madam, I was on social media and listen, this Vogue article is just trending, okay? Everybody and their stepson and daughter are talking about this Vogue article that are saying that having a boyfriend is embarrassing. This is not a discussion you put out in public. I'm sorry, why? Are you telling people that you have a boyfriend? So I did a bit of digging. I wanted to understand the context. Because just saying that aloud has no value, for me at least. And it's the reality that men misbehave. So you have all the confidence in this partner And you're like, oh, my man, my man, my man. Is also a men there, is a men somewhere else, is everybody's bad, you know? And so women are saying, listen, we are of high caliber, people respect us, and we're not going to start talking about our boyfriends in places that speak to our level, our caliber. What's your take?
So when I first read the title, it's embarrassing to have a boyfriend, I was like, okay, maybe we shouldn't call them boyfriends, we should call them our men. Man.
Yeah.
Boyfriend sounds very childish, right?
Yes.
Can't be in your 40s, 50s and still calling him your boyfriend.
Fair point.
Then I went a little bit deeper there and I thought, ooh. Yeah, but is it the same? Is every man like that though?
I don't think so.
Okay. So the generalization is due to their behaviors in public, or is it due to their infidelity?
It's infidelity, whether public or private, that tends to turn around and bite you because of your confidence. So you walk around publicizing this person of yours, right? And you're excited. You're like, this is my boy. I've entered my dating era. That time, bay of 7 people. And you don't know this is the truth, right?
Yeah.
And so what women are now saying is that I respect myself a little too much for me to be publicizing you and having you do the most with other women. Is it fair on men is my question.
Okay, I think I would sum it up in these ways. I'm going to be the devil's advocate on this one.
Okay.
So, boys will be boys.
Okay. Oh, what do boys do?
Boys will be boys. So there's certain things that men will just continue doing right into their adulthood.
Okay.
And you can't change that, right?
Okay.
I'm not advocating for infidelity. Yeah. I would like to say that is a different topic altogether, because when infidelity enters a relationship, there's reasons that we may not even be aware of. Maybe you are denying him the pleasures.
Ginger me slowly.
You understand? So, but then when it comes to embarrassments like how you carry yourself in public, maybe also just you not letting go of that of the gaming life. Do you know we've got men in their 50s that still play video games?
This just turned very personal. I'm going to introduce a man to the fort because I'm realizing this is going a specific direction. Morris Touch of the Afro Republic, you join us this evening. How are you doing, sir?
I'm very well. Shayla Ndikumana.
Morris, did you hear that? Thank you. Thank you.
Shayla Ndikumana. It's good to have you back.
Good and kind, sir. We are pressed for time, and I want to get your opinions. You heard the conversation and what Nolo had to say. What's your take on the article?
You know what? I'll tell you one thing. I don't believe in publicizing relationships. Yeah, it's your relationship and your significant other. Why should everyone know that you were in Paris? You know, I believe that alone is the beginning of all trouble, because you are forced to live a life that is managed by people that are outside your relationship, you know. So, and coming to men as well, you spoke about men. It's so sad that the men that we have nowadays, they are very disappointing, very, very disappointing. You spoke about video games. I still wonder why you would have a grown man. I nearly took the French route, but you have a grown man really playing video games, playing whatever, you know, I don't want to name brands, but you know the games that I'm talking about. And that alone then gets you wondering when they will grow up. And the other thing, men being comfortable in spending what women have worked for tirelessly, you know. You bring your money, they spend it, they don't even try by all means to replace it one way or the other. So there's so much that men are doing that is very disappointing at the moment. Men like our fathers really are gone. I've always said that if Africa was still under colonial rule, with the generation, with the type of men that we have today, we'll still be in under colonial rule. We wouldn't have one Africa.
Ooh, Morris.
That's my take. That's my take. I'm looking at we do have men that will stand up and fight for the cause, for a good cause. But those are about 30 or so %, you know. Whereas way back then, if people were fighting for a cause, you would get 80% to 90% going all out to fight and fight for a good cause. But now it's a totally different ball game. It's the truth that hurts.
Morris, I know. Nola started with gaming. You said no, freedom. Go even further. Stretch yourself, Sheila, in your thought process. Wow.
Because I'll tell you something.
Yeah.
You've got a circle of friends, 5 or so, 10 men that you know. Out of those 10 men, if times were turned around, you know, how many of those would say we are going to exile to liberate this country or to liberate the continent of Africa?
Morris, on that very scary note, let's talk about the Afro Republic. Okay, let's step out of the producer's corner. What can we expect on your show that's coming?
Guys. You know what? I'll remain alone. They'll ask me, hey, man. Hey, Ubutin, you know, you're saying so much when we are those ladies trying to impress them. But anyway, Afro Republic is around the corner. Afro Republic, we are entering a fantastic day. It is another day that we get to celebrate the best of the continent. I'll tell you that yesterday when we went for the connection point, Chuchu nailed it again, 3 out of 3. Actually came up with 4 questions yesterday and she nailed them. So today we get into yet another fantastic show featuring great music from the continent of Africa. We're going again the business route of African music. Tell you what, Sheila, Nigeria alone has a total investment, will have a total investment of about 15 billion US dollars by the end of 2025. That investment is going straight into the music and media industry of Nigeria. That's what we're looking at. How big has the entertainment industry in the continent of Africa grown? A classic example is Nigeria. They are sitting at 15 billion as a total investment.
And this in US dollars.
That's between 2024 and 2025. By the end of 2025, the calculations, because those were estimates that were made, projections rather that were made. But those projections are coming to life. We could be sitting on a much bigger figure by the end of the year, which is what we are approaching. It's only a few more weeks, and the year comes to a close. So that's what we're looking at, the growth of African music as far as investment within the industry is concerned.
Sure. Morris, on that exciting note, let me pack away and make room for you to take over. Thank you so much for joining us, the voice there of Morris Touch of the Afro Republic. To the team that has been, what a stellar job. On production, we had Nolope Matlaila. On technical production, we had Kathy Chumaleka. On digital production, we had Tabang Tsagane as well as Elaine Vengani. My name is Shayla Ndikumana, and until tomorrow, cheers.
Afro Republic, your passport to music, stories, and the voices that move